All right, let's talk about something that's, well, it's deeply personal, but it's also something so many of us have gone through. I'm talking about dreaming of loved ones who have passed away. These moments can be incredibly comforting, but they can also be confusing, maybe even a little distressing. So let's dive in and see if we can unpack what these dreams might really be telling us.
I'm willing to bet that for a lot of you listening, the answer is a definite yes. When someone we love shows up in our dreams, it just feels so real, so significant. It completely stops you in your tracks, and when you wake up, you're just left wondering, what was that all about? The first question that almost always pops into our heads is, was that a message, right? You see their face, you might even hear their voice, and our immediate, very human reaction is to start searching for some kind of meaning. Are they trying to tell me something? Are they okay? And honestly, that can be a really heavy burden to carry around when you wake up.
And look, that is a completely natural response. Of course it is. We miss them so much, and a dream can feel like this incredible connection, almost like a phone call across some huge distance. So we start to interpret it as a message, maybe about their happiness or even their suffering, and suddenly we feel this responsibility to figure it out. But what if there's a totally different way to look at this?
So let's explore a different perspective for a second. What if these dreams aren't some external message coming to us, but are actually more like an internal echo coming from us? It's a pretty profound shift in thinking, but it suggests that they actually originate entirely from within our own minds.
Because when you get right down to it, what is a dream? At its core, it's a product of our own mind. It's a mental picture that our memory literally paints for us while we're asleep. Everything we think about, everything we feel, all the memories we hold on to when we're awake, well, that becomes the raw material for the worlds we visit at night. Now, this brings us to a really key concept from Buddhist philosophy about what happens to consciousness after death. The idea here is that the consciousness of a person who has passed on, it moves to a new existence almost instantly. Super fast. This means the person we knew, the one we're holding in our memory, has already been reborn into a new life, and they likely have no memory of their past one or of us. And this, right here, is the crucial takeaway. If they've already moved on, then the dream, it can't be a direct communication from them, not from their current state. Instead, think of it as a reflection. It's your own mind replaying those powerful, cherished memories that you still carry with you. It's really an echo of your love, not a call from their new life.
To really see just how powerful our mind is in creating these experiences, I want to share this fascinating story. It shows that this isn't just about dreams. It's about how our thoughts can literally shape the very world we perceive around us.
So picture this. A young monk decides to go meditate, deep in this really dense forest. But before he leaves, the older, more experienced monks, they warn him. They say, be careful. If you have negative or fearful thoughts, the elephants, the tigers, the giant snakes, they will sense it and they will come for you. So he takes this warning with him, deep into the jungle.
So what happens next? Well, during the day, everything was fine. But as soon as darkness fell, that little seed of fear they planted in his mind, it started to grow. That simple rock where he was drying his robes, in the shadows, it suddenly looked like a fearsome elephant. A piece of firewood he'd gathered, nope, that was a coiled, menacing snake. His own mind, totally fueled by fear, was transforming his reality right before his eyes.
He was terrified. He couldn't sleep. But then he remembered a teaching. Your mind creates your reality. So he took this incredibly important step. First, he acknowledged the fear was coming from inside him. It wasn't really out there. Then he made a choice. He actively decided to reframe the whole story. He thought, what if that elephant is actually my friend? What if that tiger is my guardian? He started to imagine them as his companions. And just like that, by changing his inner world, the fear just vanished.
Okay, so how does this story about a monk in a jungle connect back to our dreams? Well, that jungle is a perfect metaphor for how we handle grief. Just like the monk's fear turned a simple rock into a terrifying elephant, our own sorrow and unresolved feelings can color how we remember our loved ones, especially in our dreams.
This ancient quote really gets to the heart of it. Our entire experience of reality, it all starts in the mind. So if we spend our days dwelling on the pain of our loss, it's that very pain that our mind will use to paint the pictures in our dreams. The dream becomes a reflection of our sorrow. So, what's the solution then? The teaching suggests something called the middle path. This isn't about forcefully trying to forget the person you love. Not at all.
And it's also not about drowning in sorrow. It's about finding a balanced, sustainable way to hold their memory. It's about remembering them at a level that you can actually bear, one that honors them without destroying you in the process.
And the crucial point here is that this is not about suppression. You don't have to stop remembering them or stop loving them. The real goal is to become the guide of your own thoughts, to consciously choose to focus on the love, the good memories, the compassion, rather than letting your mind get stuck in this endless loop of pain.
When we have this understanding, we can completely transform how we experience these dreams. We can actually learn to read them, not as these haunting messages of sorrow, but as something far more beautiful and, frankly, empowering.
So the next time your loved one appears in a dream, maybe consider this. You're not talking to a ghost. You're actually having a conversation with your own heart. That dream is a testament to the fact that your love for them is so strong, your compassion is so deep, that your mind continues to create a space for them. It's a beautiful reflection of what lives on inside of you.
So, to kind of sum it all up, these dreams are born from your own powerful memory. The way you think and feel during the day directly shapes the emotional landscape of your dreams at night. You have the power to consciously guide your thoughts toward love and away from that overwhelming sorrow. And ultimately, these dreams aren't a sign that you're being haunted. They are proof of a profound connection that lives on, safely, inside your heart.
And that leaves us with one last thought to reflect on. You know, that monk found elephants and tigers in his mental jungle. So take a moment and ask yourself, what shapes and forms does the jungle in your own mind take? And how does that appear when you close your eyes at night? The answer to that, well, it might just tell you everything you need to know.